Fantasy football season is right around the corner and I couldn't be more excited. I'm in 2 leagues this year, spending $300 total trying to win that $2,000 pot, so yes, I've been doing endless mock drafts. And in this video, I'll be telling you sleepers to draft in fantasy if you're looking for league winners to carry you to victory. Fantasy football is all about finding those gems, finding the players that are going to explode, finding the players with tons of upside. Last year in the wide receiver room, it was Amon-Ra St. Brown. The year before, it was Deebo Samuel. And this year, it will 100% be Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson had 1,100 yards last year in his rookie season with no quarterback. Think about it. He was a 1K yard receiver, yet was dealing with the likes of Zach Wilson, Mike White, and Joe Flacco. He had no consistent time to develop chemistry with any of his quarterbacks. Each quarterback throws different, releases different. It makes a huge difference. But now, this man has Aaron Rodgers throwing him the ball, who will be a guaranteed starter for the rest of the season. The chemistry that Rodgers and Garrett Wilson are going to unlock is serious, and there's no doubt in my mind that Garrett Wilson will end the season with 1,400 yards and be a top 6 wide receiver in the fantasy charts. The second player you should be drafting in fantasy is Alexander Mattison. We saw last year with minimum volume, he was still putting up 10-point games. That's because he can run and catch the ball. Having Dalvin Cook out of this team leaves so much space for Mattison to blossom into. The Vikings are a high-scoring offense and will definitely be using Mattison a lot more as their RB1, which you should definitely take note of. The third player you should be keeping on your radar in late rounds if you don't have a tight end is Cole Kmet. This guy may not even be drafted, but week 9 onwards, he was Justin Fields' favorite target, having 2 touchdowns against both the Dolphins and the Lions in back-to-back weeks. He was averaging 5 targets a game throughout the stretch and was a pivotal target in the red zone. Even though DJ Moore will be taking touches away from Kmet, young quarterbacks still love their tight ends. It's a safe blanket for them. The Bears are looking to develop Fields' passing game this year, and with Fields projected to have a really good season, Cole Kmet will be a part of that. Draft Cole Kmet if you're searching for a tight end later on. Going back to sleeper running backs, another player you should be drafting is DeAndre Swift. We saw his red zone role got stolen by Jamal Williams last year, but things are entirely different because Swift is now an Eagle. In a run-heavy offense for the Eagles, this run game made Miles Sanders look like a stud. We know DeAndre Swift has a talent, we know he can catch good, we know Philly has a top 3 offense in the NFL, if not the best offense in the NFL. DeAndre Swift will be getting loads of points this year in fantasy. Bouncing back to the AFC, another player you should keep your eye on is Calvin Ridley. Everyone knows how deadly Calvin Ridley was prior to his suspension and time off. He's on a new and upcoming Jags team. We saw Christian Kirk have a great year last year with Trevor Lawrence, and it's going to be the same, if not better, for Calvin Ridley. I mean, have you not seen this guy's routes in training camp? Insane. He's in a poor division, will be getting plenty of targets, and Trevor Lawrence having a lethal route running wide receiver, he will be finding Calvin Ridley open a lot this season. So yes, draft Calvin Ridley. Another wide receiver you should be looking out for is Brandon Cooks. He's in a high-power Cowboys offense and is probably one of the most consistent wide receivers the league has seen over the past decade. It doesn't matter who this guy's quarterback is throughout his career, he is a consistent 1K yard getter. I expect him to do great things in Dallas, as he'll also have CeeDee Lamb taking the defense's attention away from him. Now my last 4 suggestions are for late round picks, starting off with Rondell Moore. Arizona is shaky, but this guy was averaging 8 targets a game last year. With the Cardinals not having DeAndre Hopkins, it is bound that Moore will become a top wide receiver 2 option for the Cardinals. If not, he may even steal that wide receiver 1 spot from Marquise Brown. The 8th player on my list is Damien Harris. Damien Harris has been bullying the Bills the past few years, so they thought, let's just get this guy. With Nyheim Hines out for the year and Devin Singletary in Houston, the running back room in Buffalo consists of Damien Harris and James Cook. He has a real shot to lead this Bills backfield, as Buffalo needs a ground and pound guy in the red zone to take away from Josh's running. I'm telling you, the Bills don't want to keep having Josh run, and you'll be seeing a lot of Damien Harris this year. The 9th player on my list is Elijah Moore. He wanted to move from the Jets and he got one. He was the 2nd best receiver in fantasy for a 5-week stretch in 2021, has talent, and playing alongside Amari Cooper, who has a history of making his wide receiver locker room a lot better. Deshaun Watson also has a full offseason training camp under his belt and is more prepared than ever. The Browns traded to get Elijah Moore for a reason, and he will be definitely used in this offense. And lastly, just for the fun of it, a kicker you should definitely draft is Jake Moody, a rookie who was drafted by the 49ers in the 3rd round, but this guy is money. He was easily seen kicking a 60-yard field goal in practice, which would have been good from 70. He was the best kicker in college, and Michigan fans can definitely back me on this, that Jake Moody is legit. These are my quick 10 suggestions, and if you happen to grab any of these guys, you've done well. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more NFL content, and good luck in fantasy this year.